I don't come up upon people who are so stupid that I can get something from them, so I game them out of what they're going to get gamed out of anyway, right? I don't do that game. Oh, the fox is going to kill the chicken, so I'm going to hang them up and cut their throat. Fuck you. I've never been that. If I took that mentality, see, I was that on some level. Let me stop lying, okay? Let me stop lying. I was that.
You still are if you're shopping for conventional organic goods at the grocery store.
That's fine. If you want to equate,
you're just not seeing the dirty work done.
If you want me to equate me picking up a fruit or vegetable at Walmart to hanging up a being and slitting its throat in my presence, go ahead and do that. Play that.
Well, you're murdering them with a much more painful death.
No, it doesn't matter because ultimately
all the Roundup Ready shit that's floating up in the water
I've not
system.
conditioned my nervous system to be a part of genociding and enslaving innocent beings. So you can tell me the same indirect action is happening on some level, but I've not conditioned like you and Lou and the rest where you tell me you go in there and dread what you do and cry about it, but still do it.
I thought the premise was doing the least amount of harm. I thought that was the goal.
That is, Lou. Excuse me, Dick. I'm not gonna. I told you I like you and respect you in a lot of areas.
Then we have to use our analytical mind and see what actually does the least amount of harm.
We can use our analytical mind, not at the expense of our heart either. See, we ain't gonna do this whole I don't ever believe in emotions deal. Right? When it's appropriate. It's appropriate for you to have an emotional, revolting reaction to going in and destroying something you spent your whole life trying to upkeep. That's bizarre, insane, genocidal, slavery type mindset, as far as I see. I watched the slaves do it. Dick, just take a step into my mind. I watched the slaves take a son or daughter, rear it up and raise it, or don't nowadays. They don't even do that. Don't even raise it. Don't do nothing. Just sit by it, give it feed, make sure it's fat and plump and happy, and then turn it over at 18 to the world to be sheared and slaughtered, mind controlled, dominated, and put into a chattel system. So I don't see any separation between everybody's behavior. I don't see a separation from Lou coming in last night on 3 Miller Lite saying he's going to kill everybody because this is what he's conditioned his nervous system to do. Is to kill in the face of a problem that needs to be solved. And it's an inward problem that needs to be solved. But instead of doing that, we're going to just kill everybody and everything and justify it. I don't accept it.
I agree with that. It's not a sustainable system. So what is sustainable? We look at nature, okay? And people want to say if they're eating an egg that it's somehow a solution to the problem. They don't understand how nature works. They don't understand that the native diet of the bird is going to be worms, grasshoppers, and you know what? There's a rooster born. There's a rooster born with every single hen.
What happens to that rooster?
Putting in your mouth talk ain't going nowhere, bro. Because who think it matters.
It's not about putting it in your mouth. Let's just get into the conceptualization.
If you understand the process, you realize there's death involved with everything you eat.
I don't need all the folks who eat meat immediately rising to the occasion to run their mouth. Okay, like I get it. Folks are emotionally invested because they do it every day, so they're going to defend the position. I'd rather just take one meat eater who's going to like objectively look at this and try to separate their emotions and their habits from what we're all observing as a race and as an arena, as a simulation, right? So, two of you yelling at once about eating meat and not talking about it. If I didn't want to talk about it, I wouldn't, because we loop about it too much here right now.
At all. I'm
just saying that the very vulture-like public doesn't seem to be able to rise to the occasion of fully being a vulture, because the vulture spends a lot of its time flying around and circling and waiting for predators to kill, and then it goes and retrieves, right? So I didn't tell you not to be a scavenging vulture. I just said stop living your whole life as a predator, right? What's the problem with the state of consciousness that you're so fucking egoic that you want to be top of the food chain? You can't just be a scavenging vulture like most of the public waiting for the next stimulus. What's the problem? I know everybody wants to be king of the jungle. You ain't that. Look at your mouth. You don't have that set of teeth.
No, you're right there. You're right there. I can make change in that area and try to source more meat from a scavenging type of premise. That's something I can do.
The same way a heroin addict spends 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, but you won't know.
The same way a heroin addict
spends. Who are you to tell me what I'm going to do, Jeff?
Jeffrey, that's
I
not
acknowledge
helpful.
what's
That's
being
not
said.
helpful.
There's valid points there. We can all grow and learn here. And you know
Dick
what?
is an honorable being. There's no reason to believe Dick would say something and not actually try to incorporate that in our life. We can't make enemies out of these folks by denying their experience and saying what they will and won't do.
Can I make one point here? I think that our vision is actually quite aligned when it comes down to what the ideal circumstance is. I think that there is a way to find harmony with the animals and nature where killing the mammals is not necessary. With that said, in the circumstances we're in, knowing that nobody's hitting that perfect mark and we're all making steps in our own personal lives to try to do better and do less harm, it seems to me very clear when you take an analytical look at what actually causes more harm and more killing, you would be much better to raise your animals in your backyard, try to grow as much fruits and vegetables as you could in your backyard, because that's going to do the least harm. If you can do it vegetarian, great, but don't lie to yourself and say that vegetarian doesn't cause harm and suffering to bring that food to your table.
No one is saying that,
every
Dick.
single thing you
know
eat,
what a straw man attack is, Dick? Not a single vegan thinks that they don't cause any harm.
Make your point. Make your point.
I just did.
What's your point?
I just invalidated your whole argument. You're saying that vegans think that they don't cause any harm, and that is not true.
So
I've
how
already
much was
shattered
killed in
this
the process of
conceptualization.
producing the vegetables, not to mention all
Most
the
of those
transportation.
vegetables go towards cattle feed. Cattle feed cattle to make
Lord.
1 pound of beef.
Why are we doing this again?
I won't
This
loop.
is what
I
I
won't do
don't
this.
want to do.
You're
I
a
don't
fucking
want to
idiot, dude.
zoom
That's
in
the
on the
most
technical
moronic thing.
aspects of a metaphysical spiritual idea. Okay?
Well, he's making claims that simply are
I have
patently
never
incorrect.
fucking made a point that
It's
even
very
closely
simple.
correlated
If
to
you
that, Jeff.
continually,
You've never listened to a fucking word I've said.
If you continually condition your nervous system to act like a predator, you will exhibit predatory qualities in all aspects of your life. It's that simple.
So
why are we getting into the technicalities of biology? I'm telling you, if you don't want to live and act like an animal, then you better not act like one as much as possible. It means cause the least amount of harm as possible. It means, like I was going to say before, like a heroin addict will sit at a gas station for 6 to 8 hours and wait for his next catch. You can spend 6 to 8 hours looking for ways to eat that don't involve you doing genocide and slavery. Put as much energy and attention in to feed your addiction as someone else would. Who doesn't have enough ego to think that when you walk outside, the whole world is at your disposal. It's not.
Yeah,
you don't have a right to take life that you didn't create.
Paul, that is not consistent with the argument of doing the least amount of harm. If you're saying, I will not be a predator because I'm not going to have predatory actions, but I'll have other people create more predatory actions on my behalf.
I didn't say that.
But that's what the end result is.
I'm saying stringing an animal up and cutting its throat is not the same thing as harm by proxy from clearing a field. It's not the same action.
But you're doing more harm by clearing the field.
It may be the case. I'll concede your argument for Socratic method. It's not the same action. It's like saying
action on your behalf. Cowardly action. Because now your actions are based on
stop projecting, Dick.
As if I cleared the field myself. Because if I cleared the field myself, I would have to deal with the consequences of the beings that got harmed. But in my
you still have to. Yeah, you can't exempt yourself when you go to the grocery store and you buy organic vegetables.
In my bizarre mind, clearing a field to grow vegetables and having an eternal garden is not the same action as regularly hanging an animal and slitting its throat while it screams.
It's not just clearing
a field.
It's not
the same action.
It's tons of pesticides.
Just like someone coming into my house to kill me is not the same action as
you're assuming things.
Killing them. If I stop them in my home, it may be the same action in your mind. The energy's not the same behind it as far as I'm concerned.
That's fine, Paul, but fundamentally it's not consistent
Dick, you
with
just
doing
said
the
you
least amount of harm.
pesticides on an organic farm.
So, I mean,
hey, bro, I might clear a field. I might clear a field metaversally and metaphysically, and a whole bunch of slaves metaphysically and metaversally might be what would you call that? Collateral damage of that action. It's not the same action as me specifically identifying each individual being and trying to cause them loss, injury, and harm.
But your goal
Clearing
is to do less
harm
harm with
hanging a being up and cutting its throat while it screams.
Your goal is to do less harm with your own hands, not necessarily with your actions.
You're not getting
because
what
your
I'm
actions.
You're not listening, Dick. You're not listening in the least bit.
This is why I don't know how far I could get with folks in the community, because they can't understand a simple concept of, regardless of even, I'll give you the idea that it's the same, which I don't accept, but I'll concede it for argument's sake, that clearing a field does the same amount of harm as everybody in every home killing 2 to 3 animals a day, right? I'll concede that. It's not the same energy and action, and it doesn't translate over the same way behaviorally, right? Neurochemically, where you've now trained yourself to do harm in the face of all of your inner space saying this is bad and wrong. Clearing a field is not going to give you the same feeling, even if you see some dead rats and dead mice and whatever that Ted Nugent was talking about, all the dead birds and dead rabbits. It's not going to be the same. First of all, again, I don't accept the claim. I think it's an appeal to emotion. You're trying to equalize. But beyond that, let's say it was the same. It's not the same action as training your nervous system to walk into a room, hang an animal up, and cut its throat while it screams. It's going to translate differently on your nervous system, is my belief. See the key word there, is my belief. I can't show it to be absolutely true, but there's some indicators. Did you see Lou's behavior last night? There's an indicator. Did I ever once, with all the people coming on to me up here and coming at me and shutting my whole life down, ever threaten to kill everybody? Did I ever only specifically make the statement every single time, even in a heightened state of emotion, if you come near me and try to do harm to me, I'm going to leave you there? I have a right to do that. I never once got emotional and said, I'm going to kill everybody. That's a predator.
Yeah.
Predator goes off one day and says, I'm going to kill everybody just because I can,
and
motherfucker.
I did hear your point.
I say, I kill a motherfucker who's acting like a predator because I can. I don't even think I should, but I can and I might. Predator says, I go off one day like the lion and just kill the owner, kill everybody to show you I can.
Yeah, but the point I think that you're missing, because I do hear your point.
Acting like the king of the jungle when you're really a chimpanzee.
The clearing of the field creates entirely more death and more suffering.
So the clearing of the field happens more.
All right, Dick, you got your way. Just keep doing what you do. I support it.
Cattle feed, bro.
No, I think I have significant change. Wait a minute. To answer your question, I think I have significant change I can make. And if I'm brutally honest about my journey, I went full staunch vegan, really on a fucking high horse about it, to going all the way back the other direction. So I've always operated in these extremes. And I believe that I can make a shift to a vegetarian diet that would be in harmony with nature. And I think a big part of that is being a steward of the land and producing your own food. I'm not going to do it at 9,000 feet. I can tell you that. Could I scavenge more?
Excuses.
And create. Jeffrey,
yeah, you can adapt your diet or move.
Shut up, Jim.
Why?
You people who have this position.
You people. What do you mean? You people.
Yeah. Huh?
You want to evade accountability.
He goes,
you want to evade accountability for what you do because it's through another person's
You're not the authority on this.
And I understand
that you're okay with the vegetarianism and that you're moving towards that. You're sitting up here and contradicting yourself by the words that are coming out of your mouth. If you're full of shit, stop saying that you're okay with vegetarianism and just act out the words that your actual feeling.
Dude, I'm okay with veganism. I'm not judging you. You guys are judging me.
You come up here and you're the loudest one every
Hey, Jeff,
well, so now you're telling me what my opinion and what my truth is? I don't have an issue.
What you say up here.
Wait a minute. You fucking people make allegations and then you don't back it up with facts. When the fuck have I ever said I have a problem
Dick, you're
with
full
veganism?
of shit. You're a hypocrite.
I say it when you eat something.
Make some sort of argument to defend
if you
want
to eat your glyphosate, Roundup ready fucking GMO grain, inflame your fucking gut, have no animal fats in your brain, so you can't think or critically
That's
think
what
and
they
make a
feed the
decision.
cows.
What do you need, Jeff?
Go
Jeff, what
right
do you need?
ahead. That's your
All
free
that
will.
soy goes
That's your
towards your
autonomy.
cow.
Trade a fucking hell on earth with your decisions. Yes, it
Show us
creates
your friend.
entirely
Leaders
more
get
harm.
triggered by
That's
vegans
a
because
fact.
vegans
You can
remind them
try
that
to
they're doing
evade that
something
because
wrong.
some other man
That's
does
why
your
they get
dirty
so
work.
mad.
But you're the fucking coward because you won't look the death you create in the face. You won't fucking deal with what your actions
Why are you
create.
so mad?
Dick, are
don't
you
look
starting to
at
want
it
to eat
because
Jeffrey?
Calm
You
down,
put
Do
up
you
a
want to eat
veil
Jeffrey?
and you live through the actions of other people who create the harm and suffering for you, and you think that makes you exempt of it. You think your karmic circle is clean because
All right, now,
somebody
Dick,
else
let
did
me
your dirty
I'm not
work.
saying
Let me
that. You're
reset.
You're
Hold on, let's
investing
calm
your
down, let's calm
currency and
down.
your
You're
energy
assuming all
into
kinds
more
of things
suffering
about
and
me.
more death.
Let's
Put
calm
your
down.
thing
And you
Now,
want to
it's
fucking
it's
point
not
the finger
authentic.
at me. You're a fucking coward, dude.
Hipster
All right,
shit.
now let's reset now. Dick, wouldn't it be so much better if we lived in a world where instead of killing innocent pigs and chickens, you can hunt Jeffries on an island for years worth of meat?
I would
Yep.
never eat a fucking grain-fed animal like Jeffrey. He's he's fucking. He's got
Look
the
at
right
him.
fat
You
ratio.
do eat
He's
grain
probably
fed.
all omega-3s
You're
in
lying.
there. This
Look at him. He'll destroy
You get
himself.
all your
Just let
meat.
him
You
be.
get all this grass fed from the Amish, huh?
And he'll
all the
blame
time.
everyone else.
Jeffrey tastes a lot like ostrich.
your constant loop
I hardly
argument is
intake
that
any
all the
oil in my
grains go to
diet.
feeding
Ostrich is
cattle.
super oily.
So why wouldn't you and I be able to find common ground and say, you know what, that's a stupid process. I don't think that makes any sense. They're not supposed to eat grains. They're supposed to eat grass.
We don't have
Right?
enough grass on the planet to supply
Sure we
enough.
don't. It grows on
animals
every
with
fucking
grass for
corner of
everyone.
this realm.
We don't have enough
Grass everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking
fucking
moron.
Not
What a
enough
fucking
grass.
stupid
Not
argument
enough
that is.
I got plenty of
You
grass.
should be ashamed for making such a
Bro.
pathetic argument as that, dude.
All right, let's
That's
do
ridiculous.
this then. Let's have a moderated debate. Well, we're empirical data, real science. Let's fucking do this. This is what I do on YouTube. Let's do this. Not now. Some other time. Next
Is
week.
that your
Tomorrow,
dude, Jeff?
whatever you want, dude. Let's do this.
Is your
We're
cat-
having a conversation right now.
catching the rats in the
Why
tree.
would I have it? Why would I have a
Debate.
debate with
Because
someone?
I don't
I
care
saw you
about
run
Every
by when
time
you
I
were working
talk
on your
with him,
dirt bike.
he brings
And
up conventional grain-fed cows and how all the grains
Let's
go
do
there,
this.
and that's
Let's do
why I
Let's
shouldn't
go over
look
the
at your
numbers, Dave.
path as a viable path. Why would
So,
I?
Dick,
fucking-
you're saying you'd rather
There's no
debate me
We'll do a
because
four-hour
conversation,
show
man.
on it,
Dick,
Dick. You
Dick,
bring
you're
No
saying
reasonable
your
communication.
whole
let's
argument.
calm down. Let's calm down. Dick, you're saying you'd rather debate me because I have more compelling arguments.
I don't even know that I care to debate anyone. I just make my
Of
points.
course
you
you
can
do.
take
You're
it or
up
leave
here
it. You
every
don't have
time
to
the
fucking.
subject comes up.
You don't have to have my opinion.
How come
I'm
you're
not
scared
here
to
to try
debate
to
me
change
in
you
a
or tell you.
moderated debate?
You guys have strong opinions
Why are
on
you
your
scared?
diet, and you like to make it out as
You
if
are
you're
making
noble
assumptions
and you're
about
on your soapbox that
everything.
you
All
have a
this
better
stuff, you're
path.
making assumptions.
And every
You're just
time you
making
make a
shit up.
fucking
You're
argument,
like, you know, some guy that was a vegan and he was a dick, and you're like painting me to be this guy. You're making a bunch of assumptions. You don't know anything that I do. So why do you keep telling me?
What did I do? Go ahead. Say that again. What did I do?
You're making assumptions. All
You
you're
all
just
make
making
assumptions. You don't think you're making assumptions? Is that a fucking crime, sir? To make an assumption?
No, you're wrong. I'm not
And what
saying you
assumption
should
am
throw
I
you in
making?
jail because you made an assumption. I'm telling you your argument
What
is garbage.
assumption am I making?
just
What is
making
my
things up.
assumption?
You don't know
Okay,
anything about what I
since
do.
I'm making shit up, what is my assumption?
You said I was a coward.
Yeah, you're a coward because you have death happen and you don't actually
I'm
take
not saying that
responsibility
I
or
don't.
accountability for it.
My choices lead to
So
less death
so you
and
like
less
creating
tax dollars going to
more
my diet.
suffering
My
and more
diet-
death.
My diet is less death and less tax dollars. Your diet is more death and more tax dollars across the board.
Another
bro.
But I
brilliant
hope
argument.
you
Let's do
reincarnate into a fucking
Let's do a
mouse
debate. A
and you die
moderated
a
debate.
Roundup Ready
You can even have a
pesticides.
meat eater
That's
I
moderated
not
can
debate.
feel
nice,
what it
Nick.
feels like to die
That's
that
not nice.
agonizing,
Let's do it.
terrible fucking
That's
death.
Let's do it.
mean.
You clearly want to. Let's do it. Moderated debate. You can have a meat eater be the moderator even. I know
Facebook.
I know the YouTube channel.
All right, I got it, I got it.
Moderate debates. Let's do it.
Pay-per-view. Jeffrey's gonna box Dick, the vegan versus the heathen. That's how we're marketing this.
Yeah. Jeffrey,
Yeah, I'll wrestle you or boxing. How about that?
lanky strength, and Dick's got that fucking homestead strength. So I don't know.
Hey,
What?
people don't want to listen to reason. I can already see that with Jeff. It wouldn't go anywhere. It's
No
a
way.
purposeless conversation. Why would I
What
want
are
to
you talking
co-create
about? I
with
have
the
these
dude?
conversations all the time, and they go for hours, and people learn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
big fucking circle jerk. So you can sit there and spout a bunch of
A
bullshit.
moderated debate is a
Why
circle
don't you
jerk.
address
This
the
is a
context of
circle
what I'm
jerk right
saying
here.
here?
What we're doing here is a circle jerk.
Look,
A moderated debate is not a circle jerk. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Dick.
think
No,
about
Dick,
that.
you were
I
saying
mean,
something.
rules
You had
to
a good
protect
question.
you.
yeah, I don't have anything to prove to you, dude. I think you'll find out
Okay,
the way
then
so
shut
many others
up.
have.
Keep your mouth closed then.
Well, because you're a coward. That's the truth. Your fucking diet is creating entirely more harm and suffering. Exactly. So you have no compassion. You show yourself for who you are. You have no compassion.
Prove it,
Your
Dick.
decisions are
Prove
not
it.
based off.
Prove it
They're
with,
not
with
based off
knowledge.
doing less
Prove it
harm.
with
They're
information.
based off
I
of
don't care about your little
arrogance and
conjecture
ego
opinions.
of your soapbox that you're some kind of better person because
Conjecture
you're fucking
appeals to
vegan.
incredulity.
Hey, let me ask you this. So what is
Hold
your
up,
fundamental argument as to what's wrong with the way I eat?
Clint
What
could
is your
clear all this up.
fundamental
Hold up.
argument
Clint's gonna clear
as
it
to
all up.
what's wrong with the way I eat?
Wow. Let's
So
do it,
there you
dude.
go. Why would I have a debate with you? Answer my question.
I said moderated debate where there's a moderator where we'd have to both.
But you can't
be-
answer a reasonable question to show me
You
that
won't
you're of
listen. You'll just
character.
yell over me.
You
like
can't
you do,
show me
like
you're
you
of
did in
character
the
to actually
Valley
answer a
type
question. See, this is what the fruits of,
Okay,
of
what's
the
the question?
conversation right here.
What's
What
the
is your
question?
fundamental argument of why you take issue with what I eat?
What? Because you already explained.
Go ahead.
You're gonna get all civil now that they're close to each other.
What's your fundamental argument? What's your problem with the way I eat?
That is what we would talk about in this debate. We don't have the time. I'm not going to waste everyone's time with doing this right here. Let's
So
do a real debate.
You can't make a concise, to the point statement that articulates what your issue with the way I eat is.
Right now? That's what I've been doing, dude. Are you not listening to any word that I've said this whole time?
I'm listening.
I've already made my point.
No, you've said nothing. You've said
Oh, I've
absolutely
said
not
nothing?
one fucking goddamn thing. You
That's
evaded
just
my
your
question,
opinion
and
because
you showed
you're
yourself
not,
to be the
you're
fucking
trying to
coward
control
you
me.
are. You're a
Huh?
fucking coward, dude. You won't even
I'm a
answer a
coward by
basic
telling you,
question.
let's do a
And you want
moderated
me to
debate where
waste
both
my
of us
energy
present
having a
science and
conversation with you.
opinions in
Dude,
in a forum that isn't a bunch
You're
of
not
people
showing
yelling at each other?
authenticity, Jeff. You're not showing any level of willingness to dialogue. You can't articulate your points. Why
I've
would
been
I
doing
fucking
it the
debate
whole
with a
time,
moron?
Dick.
Why
Just
don't
because
you
you're saying
answer
these
the
things doesn't
question?
mean they're true. Just because you say something on a panel doesn't mean it's true, Dick.
Hey, people will judge for themselves. Your actions speak
That's
to who
fine.
you are right here.
Dude, do you think I give a fuck what anyone thinks about me?
Jeffrey, your words reveal
I'm
your
a fucking
character,
vegan,
Jeffrey.
dude.
Only
You think I
would
don't
imagine
understand
honor
that I'm in
Get
the
out of
lower
your
percentile,
imagination.
I care so much about what some people think about me. I come up here and be obnoxious. You think I don't know I'm obnoxious? You think
So you're making appeal to the idea that what I'm saying is not factual.
To everything. All
Yet
your
you won't
whole
answer a
argument
basic
is
question.
assumptions.
So
and
your
appeals
actions
to
say everything.
the crowd and appeals to tradition and
Your actions
appeals
say
to
everything.
history and appeals to authority and appeals to this
You don't even have the integrity to
cherry pick
answer an honest question.
pick things that are you're in your agenda. You repeat stupid fucking things that aren't true. Just like
what, like
Lubass,
that fucking 80% of the feed goes to cattle, and that's why my diet's wrong. That's the point you made. That's why I'm asking you to articulate your point.
Your whole
because you
point
make
is
stupid
that
fucking
more
looping
animals
points
die
that
because
go
of a
nowhere.
vegetarian
You
diet than a
don't
meat diet.
have any
and
fucking
the meat
thing to
diet
articulate that actually
requires
makes
more
sense. Dude.
plants and more
What
death.
is your issue with the way I eat? Because 80% of the grain goes to cattle. I don't
You
eat
just said,
cattle.
in order to plow a field,
a
you have to kill
grass-fed
it.
bison that lives on hundreds of thousands of acres. That's where my diet
In order to plow a
comes
field.
from. So what the fuck are you talking about?
How do you think that because vegan food vegan plants kill more plants than your grain cattle.
They don't kill plants. They kill other organisms, bugs.
Yeah, it's the same amount. There's a body count for meat eaters, and there's a body count for vegans. No matter what, your whole argument that because vegans eat vegetables and some lower sentient beings are killed in that process, the vegans should just eat meat across the board is absolutely ridiculous. You're saying I should just eat meat all the time, and that'll be less death.
I'm saying we do away with the term vegan altogether because it's very flimsy.
If it's 16 times the amount of dead animals to feed your cows.
Okay, so your fundamental argument is you believe I do more harm and injury than you.
I am responding to your statement saying that vegan.
What is your fundamental argument with the way I eat, moron? What is the fucking problem?
Can I speak from a farming family?
Subsidies are made.
And if you want to sit here and appeal to me that some organisms are worth more than others, the grasshopper is worth more than the fucking earthworm. The mouse is worth more than the grasshopper. The bunny rabbit is worth more than the mouse.
It is. If you ran over a cat, you would be more sad than if you
people
hit
back
a
like an onion because you can't make an argument and you can't communicate. Why don't you fucking say that?
I have the whole time. Just because you keep saying something doesn't mean it's
some animals are better than others.
Of course.
So
of course.
Hey, let's all calm down.
So
if you ran over a cat with your car, you would feel more bad than you hit a mosquito with your car. Of course, there's a difference in sentience.
Hold on.
Look how you're presenting.
1 second. Let's get back to the Mexican hooker. I think that's something that we can all bond over.
No, she's not. Not interested.
A lot of yelling.
Hey, can I make a couple of points that come from a farming family? That grows
I'd rather not. If you could save the story for another time, I'd appreciate it. There's a Tedic warrior here now. He's got an X factor. I want to hear from him.
Just a couple points. No, just a couple points.
Not even. No, none. Zero.
He just told you to shut the fuck up, and you wouldn't do it. So right there, you presented horribly. Learn something, dude. Learn something, okay? Seriously. What is wrong with people? What the fuck is wrong with people, man? Everyone lives in this entitlement culture. Everyone just feels entitlement to everybody else's stuff. All right.
What you're doing now.
Sir, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't come here for you, douche.
I come from a farming family.
Nobody wants to hear about your farming family, you fucking narcissist. This is the narcissism that's taking over.
Hey, Johnny Appleseed.
Nobody made any points from it.
Hey, Johnny,
I'm here for you. Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up for a second, you dumb fuck. All right, listen, I came here for a specific reason, and it wasn't just to come see.
You're not even gonna call him something like Johnny Appleseed or I
don't know. He's probably all right. He just needs to learn how to fucking control himself, dude. Listen,
there was a break in the conversation. Sorry.
Who was the guy who wore the?
All right, dude. Listen, I like it. Yeah. Can you give me one proof of gravity, you fucking dumb globe fuck? I can tell by looking at you. I don't want to go there.
Look, act like he's not even there. Who's the guy who wore the scoon? The coon.
Hey, but did he get you with that? Was that a correct profile?
Come on, man. Don't refer back.
Of course it was. Dick, you know I can fucking pick these guys. I can tell just by his age. Look, I'm not here for this. Jeffrey, get back here, Jeffrey.
What's the guy's name? He used to wear the raccoon on his head. I'm not letting this go. I'm not letting it go.
Davy Crockett, bro. It's Davy Crockett.
Hey, Davy Crockett, fall back. That's why I bring you up here. You're supposed to do a reference.
King of the Wild Frontier. Come on, everybody knows Davy Crockett, man. Jeffrey. Okay, here's I'm here. I'm here to present something. This Sunday on the Z Show, I'm inviting these two gentlemen, Jeffrey and Freedom. I'm going to give you a platform. I will moderate a debate between these two men if they are willing.
Are you going to supply some?
Why don't you debate him, Z? Why are you
some of that treatment?
I've obviously said I'm not interested in.
You're not interested.
You won't even. How could I have a debate with someone who won't tell me what their fundamental argument is?
Yeah, Dick,
you won't even tell me what I'm debating. That's absurd, man. You're not
debating if it's more death for me to be a vegan than it is for you as a meat eater.
Okay, so what happens to the rabbit when it gets poisoned.
Shut up,
and then
dude.
it
You
goes
just
into
asked
the
for the
woods.
premise. We aren't doing
What
it
eats
right
it?
now. You just asked
What
for the
eats it?
premise. I give it to you. Do you
I
agree
can
or
make the
disagree?
argument right here. People can
Do
use
you
their
agree
own
or
mind.
disagree?
I don't need to go around with you for 3 hours and have a circle
Okay,
jerk.
then what's the premise?
I've already
What
made
premise
my
do you wanna
points.
talk about?
I don't, I've made my choices. I've made my points.
What premise
happens
do
to
you
the
want to talk
rabbit
about?
when it gets poisoned in
So
the
no,
field?
you don't want to debate.
What
You're going to be
happens
a
to the
pussy.
mouse when it gets poisoned in the field and it goes out back into nature? And
You're
it gets eaten
assuming
by
that
other
someone
animals?
poisoned it.
Well, let
You're
me
making
tell you what. I live out
right
and there's plenty of fucking mice.
Of course,
who
I'm
come-
assuming someone
They
poisoned
ain't
it.
getting.
You're
fucking
assuming the
all
model.
the damn
You're assuming the
points
model.
they're talking about.
Yeah, that is the model. That's what NPK
Okay,
growing systems
you don't
entail.
like my premise? What premise
Jeffrey
do you
is a
wanna talk
trained
about?
debater. Just letting you know,
What's the
Dick.
premise?
Justify genocide. Go ahead. Keep going. Both of y'all justify the shit out of it. Y'all fucking, both of y'all are fucking cowards. Y'all ain't never killed fucking
Who
shit.
is that?
Yeah, Grandpa Clampett. Grandpa Clampett's gonna tell you all about it, dude.
That's what
Texas
Dick,
tea.
what's your premise? I gotta go to work. Like, Dick, what's your premise?
In what regard?
What's the premise?
That
You don't like
NPK
my
systems
premise?
involve pesticides
premise.
and that the animals eat them, the
That's
small
not a
game, and then that
premise.
affects
Did
the
you
large
Hey,
get
Red
game.
Hot
debate
Chili
class in
Peppers,
high school, Dick?
relax.
Did you go to high school?
What does
High
that
school
matter?
Champ, right here, Jeffrey
Because he
Phillips.
doesn't know what a premise is. He doesn't know how debates work.
Hold on,
You agree on
Jeffrey.
What's the point of the
Hold on,
debate?
hold
Is that
on,
what you're
guys,
asking me?
guys.
What's the
Guys,
premise
guys.
of
I
the
think, we
debate?
need
gonna
some,
win,
I
guys.
think we need some mental and emotional treatment from Dr. Z.
Right,
This
Dr.
channel
Z's
is-
Dr. Z's back. Dr.
You
Z's
put on a
back
lab
on the
coat. You need
job.
a lab coat for this bit. Can you get the
Yeah,
coat?
I need a white coat.
Certified
Yeah.
psychologist.
Look, here's the
Uh-oh,
the
he's
deal.
mocking you. Clint there's mocking you.
Don't
What's the
worry,
deal?
I'll take care of that guy afterwards. Listen,
Let's try, baby.
the offer stands for Sunday. Now, I will moderate it fairly. All right, we'll give each of these men a chance to speak in turn. It will be a legitimate, fair debate where we can have each of these men present their points in a free and basically unbiased environment. Okay, now
No,
the
I'm not
offer's out
interested.
there.
I'm absolutely not interested.
Pussy.
All right, so
Oh,
I'm gonna
fuck
call you
yourself,
pussy
Jeff.
from now
Over
on,
there.
Dick.
Why,
Your name's no longer Dick in my eyes.
why don't
It's
you give
pussy.
the offer to Lou? Maybe he wants to take you up on it. I'm not interested in co-creating with
No.
you that way.
I don't
That
think
makes
Lou
no
has
sense.
the
I'll be there
intellectual
Sunday.
Show
capacity
me
to
what he's
fucking
going to
tie his
do for the
shoes.
past 30 minutes here. I've seen very clearly what he's up to.
All right, let me
get it.
talk to
why-
Jeff.
It's a
Keep
big,
repeating that.
it's a big
Hold
drama
on, hold on,
festival.
guys. Jeff,
That's why he
Jeffrey,
wears
And
Velcro
not
shoes.
it's not to have resolution. You know, it's not to actually lead somewhere positive
Jeffrey,
that would have a good
Jeff,
outcome.
hold on a
And I'm
second.
not
Let me
Said
ask
the
him
people
something.
who watch will see who won or not. So
Jeffrey, I have some
popular
I have
You can
questions
look
for you,
at the
Jeffrey.
conversation we had here and look at the points I made
What,
and the points
Z?
you made, and they can determine for
Go ahead,
themselves.
Z.
I've already articulated what I believe on the subject. I've made the points that I feel are valid. If you don't see that warrants anything, then that's your prerogative, dude. But I think your arguments were weak. I think you sat there and went circle jerk with me. You couldn't even articulate what fundamentally your issue was.
What does that even mean?
With my
Like, you're just,
eating
like,
habits,
using words
because that was again
as
back
if
to your
they mean
premise, dude.
something.
That was the whole premise, right? The whole premise
No,
was
you
that
don't even know what the
that,
premise
that
is.
I do
A premise is what you talk about in a debate. I presented you a
exactly.
present.
That was the whole premise. What was the premise of the debate? What was the premise of the debate? I sat there and I asked you for 30 minutes.
You're not even making any sense.
Yeah, you're a moron, so you can't hear clear communication.
Respond to my premise with something about pesticides. And you're saying I'm incoherent. You're scared to debate in an open debate where we'd actually have to go back and forth. So I got to go to work.
We
What's
are
up,
going
Z?
back and forth. You've made points here. I've made points here.
No, this is
The brunt of my argument I've made here.
Controlled debate where two people can do science. This isn't what's happening here.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, so you can't
Let me-
articulate.
Yeah.
You want to get a whiteboard up and do
Shut
some
up,
kind of
Dick.
PowerPoint presentation.
Shut
I mean,
up.
what the fuck?
You don't want to
If you've
fucking do the
made great
debate. Shut
point,
up.
Then why don't you make a good point here?
I already have several times. I can show you the videos. I've clipped them and put them on my YouTube.
Jeff, the master debater.
So
Jeffrey.
the
Z,
pesticides
I'm only
don't
responding
kill
to
the
Z
small
right
game
now,
and the
so
large game.
You're
He
just
won't-
gonna
not
waste our
happening.
time some more, Dick.
That's in our imagination.
Waste our
It's
time
not
some
happening.
more.
Get out of your
Yes,
imagination.
so you can't answer
You
a
need to
question.
Get into the now.
Back to the now.
Z,
We got to get into
what's
the
up?
now, guys. Jeffrey, about this is on topic. Do you?
Hey, are you aware that Clint's from a farming family? Nothing.
You can't spell Piz without
He looks
Z.
like he looks like a John Deere guy to me. He looks. Listen, Jeffrey.
I'm a vegetarian.
Well, Jeffrey, can you
Yeah.
can you see a vegan diet existing outside of the modern technology offered by the current society that we live in?
Absolutely.
You do.
No.
Absolutely. I don't think
Okay.
you would be able to do it overnight, but it would take, not as much time as you think.
Only because I asked the question because when I look
Boy,
at the
that was a
vegan diet,
factually based answer.
yeah, because to me, when I look at the vegan diet, I see it being pretty much founded by modern technology and quote unquote global trade.
Well,
Okay,
you're
I don't
assuming
see the
my diet.
feasibility of it.
You're assuming the diet. You're
I might be
assuming what
wrong.
millions of people eat. And you're probably thinking that people eat like garden burgers or impossible burgers all day and shit like that. But that's just commercial marketing. I was vegan in the 90s and there were no vegan anything anywhere. And it's completely possible. But
in the not, but in
this is
I
a
guess
much
in the
longer
90s.
conversation.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's just my conception. I can't imagine the feasibility of a vegan diet without the modern comforts offered to us by this current system. That's why I posed that question.
Okay, well, how would this current system? How would we be able to eat as much meat as you eat if the current system wasn't here subsidizing 80% of it? Like that seems way more unrealistic than people just growing more vegetables.
And I wants me to debate him. That's his
Dick.
argument every time he starts a discussion.
So I would
What?
claim I would claim
This isn't a debate. We're having a discussion right now. It's
yeah,
completely different
we
than a
are.
debate.
It's a dialogue.
Dick doesn't understand that there's totally different things, like a discussion and a debate.
It's a dialogue.
I didn't take debate in high
Jeffrey,
school.
Jeffrey, take it down.
No, I
take it
did
down,
not take
Jeffrey.
debate in
High
high
school?
You're
Really?
correct.
High school? We still in
Jeffrey,
high school?
Jeffrey, I would claim that you
fucking
presented.
old high school?
Hold on, Grandpa Clampett.
I don't have
Jeffrey,
to
I
take
would.
debate in high school to know that you're a moron, dude, and you can't answer questions intelligently.
Oh,
and your arguments
ad
are
hominem
weak.
attacks definitely aren't arguments, Dick. Ad
Jeffrey,
hominem
hold
attacks
on.
aren't arguments. They don't mean anything.
You're presenting weak arguments. But go ahead.
Hold on.
I'm asking
Jeffrey,
you
let
to
me.
do a debate. It will be completely different. Especially
Exactly,
moderated.
dude.
debate,
So
where
I would have to sit here and prepare and do research and create a bunch of data points for your weak ass who can't even present in a basic fucking forum where we're having an open dialogue, dude. So I'm not interested, man. You're a fucking idiot. You can't. I don't have to sit there and plan for hours on end. I have a life, dude. I'm not going to put a bunch of energy in so I can sit there and have some ridiculous conversation with you.
You do put a bunch of energy, though.
Go take the points that I've actually made here, do their own research, and form an intelligent opinion.
And then say not, but
Your audio is bad, dude. Maybe go in and come back, or
Grandpa, where's Ellie Mae? Can you hook me up
And
with
he's
Ellie Mae?
driving Jeffrey to work. He's got places to be. He doesn't have time to argue with fools like you, Dick, who didn't do debate in high school. So,
yeah, I don't claim to
Grandpa
be a great
Clappett, getting
debater.
a kick out of that. Grandpa Clappett, can you come closer, please? We can barely hear you.
Come on, Grandpa, bring up Ellie Mae. We already have Annie, the hooker. We need Ellie Mae now. Come on.
Good. Jeffrey thinks he's a master debater, but then old Dick came in and gave it to him. And go round two.
Nah, I don't claim to be a good debater. That's not at all something on my resume.
later in high school. He took it in high school, but I remember.
Come closer.
I know if I do something, I do it right. Like I take the time and I will invest energy into the research and make all my points. But,
Hey, I gotta go. But Tedek, I'll be there Sunday. Tuesday, anyone, whether it's Dick or not, I'll be there Sunday. But I gotta take this girl to work. You guys later.
It's an open panel, and you're welcome. You're welcome, Jeffrey.
AZ, what's the name
That's a
of your
noble
site?
position, Jeffrey. I do respect that.
Zetetic Warrior. If somebody wants to drop my name, my link in the chat, they can. Oh wait, you don't have mods here. It's just Zetetic Warrior. He doesn't. Paul doesn't have anybody modded. But I have an open. Whatever. I'm not here to promote myself. I'm here to talk to.
Jeffrey said he was going to work, and then he said he's taking her to work. I don't understand. Why is there so much controversy? What's going on?
Right? I was thinking that too.
I'm starting to think maybe like Ali started OnlyFans Live, and Jeffrey saying he's going to work means he might be holding the camera.
I hear O'Shea does that for a small fee. He holds cameras for OnlyFans fucking couples. Get him involved. I like Jeffrey, but he kind of is the ultimate example of like the California beta cuck, man. He really is, man. I like you, Jeffrey, but you're setting a trend for all the betas out there. But the point I was trying to make to Jeffrey through questioning is that I understand the vegan mindset and I get all the arguments behind it, but I don't see it being sustainable outside the system, right? So somebody like me who's trying to get outside of the system and build communities away from it, I don't see a vegan lifestyle and diet being sustainable outside this quote unquote globalized or even interstate economy, right? When I picture people living off of the land, more natural to the land, the vegan diet to me doesn't really fit into that equation whatsoever. So if Mr. Farm Life, John Deere Tractor down there wants to speak on it, I'd like to hear it, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Neither side can exist the way it is now. A lot of work has to be done.
Are you talking about vegan and veggie? You're putting them in the same category, basically? Vegan
No,
and
I'm
veggie?
saying vegan. I'm saying vegan. Specifically, we're talking about vegan. So that's what I'm sticking to. Vegetarian is similar, but vegan, I think, is the kind of extreme example of that mindset. That's why I'm speaking about it. Because, look, when you're talking about mass agriculture, you're talking about the fixing of nitrogen, right, into these fertilizer compounds in order to grow and sustain this agro business culture, right? And when I see people getting back to the land, living in a more humanistic way, I really don't see a sustainable vegan method.
You see a sustainable vegetarian method.
Now, look, I've seen tribes live. You can look at the Maasai tribe in Africa, and they're vegetarians. They have cattle, but they live off the cattle's milk and the blood of the cattle, and they make a concoction of the milk and the blood, and they get their iron and protein. Technically, they're not killing anything. It's not vegan. It's probably could be considered vegetarian in that case because you're not killing anything. So the vegetarian argument's different, but we were talking about vegan specifically.
Yeah, I don't do the militant vegan thing.
Yeah,
that's the difference between me and Jeffrey. I'm not on.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm from the East Coast. I'm Italian and Irish. I ain't never gonna call myself a vegan, even if I was it, because I ain't gonna use the term vegan to describe myself. It's just a flimsy term. I don't know, something about it don't sound right.
Yeah,
it's like sending cartoon faces. I only send cartoon faces to women, not to other men. It's just maybe it's a cultural thing. It's Italian ego. I don't know what it is, but I ain't calling myself a vegan. Whatever all these terms, right? The bottom line is it's spiritual for me. I want to do as least amount of harm here as possible. And I'm not saying harm doesn't get done on both sides. I'm saying that at the very least, someone likes my penis in their bum.
Look, here's the thing.
So that's some good some good promotion there.
When you introduce dairy and cheese, you know, you can live off that. As far as your protein, man, you can get iron through green veggies. You can get your iron through your greens. So once you introduce egg and cheese, it's a different story. But I was here specifically to address the vegan topic that Jeffrey was bringing up. I just don't see it as sustainable outside of this economy, all right? Outside of whatever this is that we have, this, you know. So I don't know, man. I
Well,
don't see
Jeffrey
it.
sustains himself mostly on bull milk. He's learned to follow the bulls around as they're grazing and milk them for his iron and sustenance. I wouldn't suggest everybody try to do this because sometimes it doesn't end well. You have to cultivate a relationship with them. Your thoughts, expert panel?
Not wasting the seed.
That blood milk combination sounds interesting. I mean, I don't know.
That's almost like an ancient take on Piznog. If you think about it, right? Like, there's like some
There's a
blood.
pudding you can make called. You take milk and you basically mix the blood with the milk and you make like this blood pudding thing. It's
one more way we can torture the cows. We can grain feed them all day and then fucking whack them off into fucking a painful death.
Look,
well, I'm here to testify that I've been living high and mighty off of pizza for a while. So it can be done.
How is whacking off painful? Why is getting whacked off painful?
Well, because if it was for Piznog and it was conventional, the way they handle our food system, it'd be just like the udders of the cow where they make it bleed and pus come into your milk, which is why they have to pasteurize it and homogenize it and do all these crazy fucking techniques to the milk. So
you would be like,
I would imagine they do the same thing with Piz.
It's a commercial endeavor, so you'd be like constantly on that thing, just being sucked dry by some machinery, and there's a lot of chafing that goes on. It's a very violent process.
They jack until they bleed.
Well, but yeah, we got off topic. Z was saying something. Right before that.
Before the Piz fucking topic.
I just enjoy watching Shelly go through the range of emotions. Sometimes she's happy, sometimes she's appalled with you, disgusted, she's shocked. I watched her go through the complete range of emotions.
I saw her when she first came. She had the stomach. Camera showed her stomach, and it was going up and down. She was breathing. She was like you had an adrenaline dump. That's what I'm saying. That's what you were describing earlier. These adrenaline dumps we get.
You have to breathe through it. You have to breathe through it, Shelly. You have to breathe. It's the only way.
Yeah, she looks calm now. She was going through it 10 minutes ago.
It's too much otherwise. It'll put you through the grinder.
In birth, I know how to breathe through it.
Good.
What kind of costume do you put on? Are you like a Las Vegas showgirl or something?
I'm local belly dancer, but I don't. I have.
Hell yeah!
Oh, Brian O'Shea. Okay, ma'am, are you aware of Brian O'Shea's conditions? Yeah, he's a retainer, so you got to watch out with that. That belly dancing stuff. Well,
yeah, if I start hanging around with you, you might get a retaining order on me or something. That was a restraining. You got the steak is $14.99 tonight.
Try the steak. He's here all week.
That's funny. So I'd like to get the post game wrap up with Dick on his little confrontation with Jeffrey there. How you feeling after that, Dick? What's your state right now?
It was just dovetailing into the conversation yesterday. Paul took it back there, and I was actually surprised he did because it doesn't seem like it's something that he really enjoys is to have that conversation. But maybe it just got boring and dull enough. He's just like, well, let's bring some pain and anguish and do this whole thing again. But yeah, Jeff's real sensitive about it. I guess he fancies himself a professional debater and that he's got a lot of points that he would like to make with me. And I respect the man for having that conviction that he wants to have it in an organized platform. I frankly don't want to invest the time and energy to have that kind of dialogue with the dude. I've heard enough that I think it would be fruitless. However, I would watch the debate, and I think it'd be fun to see somebody do it. You know, if like Garland Farms or yourself or somebody wants to put that energy into it. I got 2 kids, chickens to kill, murder to ensue here on my property. So I'm going to have to
can't beat me in a debate. Folks can't beat me in a debate on this because I go right for the spiritual and the cause and effect, and you can't argue with it. You're not the highest on the food chain. Most folks are enslaved. They're numbered and branded. They're on a cattle farm, one way or the other, metaphysically or physically. And there's folks out there who are shearing you, and they're going to kill you soon. So as long as you don't mind being fed upon, I don't mind it. I'm not going to yell at anybody over any other dynamic than that. When they come for you and your children and do to you what you do to those animals, they're already doing it. Just don't cry, because that's the life cycle, right? Like, I'm not a fan of hypocrisy when it comes to the internal state. If you want to live by something, you'll die by that, and then you can't complain.
Yeah. So,
Dick,
the initial point being to do the least harm, and I think I've articulated why.
Yeah,
I would propose that eating indigenously would be doing less harm than ever choosing to go to a grocery store and buy what you're going to consume.
It's a fair point. Dick, are you feeling any regret over giving Jeffrey that emotional investment that you just gave him?
No, why would I?
Because I typically do. I typically do. No, because I feel as though like after I emotionally invest in a situation that maybe is being approached by the other, but in a less than sincere manner, as I think maybe Jeffrey was approaching you, I typically feel regret afterwards.
What makes you think that Dick is emotionally invested in that just because he put a little bit of energy in a presentment and discussed the facts?
Well, I'm asking him.
People wanted to, it's like I like to give the people what they want. I was going to ask that earlier. I was going to say, why do you think people like drama and argumentative discourse? Because like when Lou came in yesterday, I noticed the chat lit up. People were like, yeah, this is fucking great. I love this. This is because
it's real. It's the realest thing motherfuckers gave over the last 6 months.
Yeah, so
like
I guess
say with me, like Shelly said, it's real and raw, like how I am all the time. I try to be, even when I'm in an entertaining state. What I'm saying is still real and raw. It cuts right into you. So when they hear people being real and raw, even if it's scary and dangerous, it's preferable to the nice, kind, loving, fake ass, lukewarm shit we see day in and day out.
Yeah, I think the emotional aspect of it was warranted. Did I have to go there? Could I have kept it more monotone and neutral? Sure, but I don't regret it. No, I think it was fun. I'm starting to get addicted to it. I like these online arguments, and maybe I should fancy debate, study up on it a bit, and put more energy into that. I just know that what you do, you should do it right. So if you're not willing to invest the time and energy to do something right, you shouldn't do it.
Paul, what do you know about rhetoric, the art of it? I feel like.
In what sense?
I don't know. I want to learn it, so I just want to. I heard
it. If you're talking about like straw man, Jeffrey likes to use the terminology straw man, red herring, appeal to emotion, appeal to authority. There's certain rules to debate, and then Padini doesn't understand this. Most folks don't understand this. You can't just make claims, right? When I make claims, I say this is my perspective and my belief and my summation. I don't ever make absolute claims. Right? I always try to give the prerequisite from my perspective. Again, I even gave you the base boil down. If you can't meet in a middle ground and you just want to debate to be right, you don't want to make it right. Like I gave you the boil down as far as if you act out in certain ways and you enable that acting out and you justify it, it will carry over in other areas of your life. Psychologically, you can't deny that. If you're going to deny that, then we're being disingenuous. Somebody who regularly engages in an act that they know is morally reprehensible based on their emotional state and continues to move forward into that is numbing themselves to continue a behavior that will then bleed over, like Lou last night saying he's going to kill everybody and acting like he don't know what it meant today. And I'm telling you, if you live and act like a predator in your life, it will spill over into your family life. Don't think that it won't. And if you think you have control over it, don't kid yourself. Very few people who can control these emotions and this state of beingness and come on here and yell and scream like I do and talk calmly for 2 hours to someone while they're losing their shit next to them. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I've had folks in my ear losing their shit, pointing in my face, doing whatever, and having to maintain the same countenance I have right now. Now, if I was predatory and I just got off on some level with doing loss, injury, and harm, I hit a breaking point and I just go off on everybody in the room. I do that sometimes here for effect, but in my everyday life, I make a habit out of never doing that. And I just don't think it's as easy to do that if you generally make a practice and habit out of causing harm for some justification.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
I observed that you had a premise that your way was more correct, if you will, Paul, and that's what you were pointing out to me is that, and I respect that you have that opinion. I do have a different opinion. However, I think the key component there is that you're looking yourself in your mirror and you're acknowledging, am I doing the least harm with my actions? Do I feel I'm honoring my body, my spirit, and the truth that I've come to know? And if you're doing that and I'm doing that, we only have ourselves we have to be accountable to.
But the point is, Dick, why can't we both step away from the argument and admit to ourselves that the more that we engage in a behavior as if we are entitled to do that, the more that we start to believe that that behavior is okay. The more we believe that behavior is okay, the more we take that behavior everywhere we go.
Yeah, I can
it's
agree.
Why
to that.
the metaverse fucks so many people, because they get on here and run their mouths so often, they go in real life and do it and get their jaw broken like Tommy. Because they start to buy into their own bullshit. They start to take acting out and behaviors that are enabled and accepted in one venue, and it bleeds over everywhere. Just like I told Mitchell, I was reverse engineering with him. I know what he's dealing with his family because I dealt with it. Why? Because I alienated and estranged myself from everybody I fucking got around. You don't think that I know that he knows why he's doing that? He may not know how to control it, but he knows it's happening. So we try to work on that. You're not going to act out here and tell me you go to your home and you have complete center balance and order. No, you're yelling and screaming. You're acting out. If you're acting like you're doing what I'm doing, you're not, because I have the results to speak for themselves. Bring the women forward who are going to say, that motherfucker sat there and dealt with me while I fucking tantrumed like a child and threatened him and continue to be centered and balanced. 90% of these women come to me in emails privately telling me how all these folks up here are abusing them behind the scenes. How about that? How about that? How about that?
Wow, that's interesting. Wow.
I get the results though, just so you know.
I would like to say this before the topic shifts about Jeffrey, and I'm not bagging on you, Jeffrey, but you're saying about debating, but you were obfuscating a lot in your communication with Dick, man, and you were cutting him off, and you really weren't presenting in a way that of open dialogue, man. So I just have to put that out there. And as far as Mr. Lou Bass, I think his presentation last night is a window and an insight into some of his psyche,
Can you read the comment down there? Sorry, I once in a while the chat, they get me riled up because they love it, right? They know Lou or someone's watching or listening. Maybe it's Dick. They want to poke at you. Right? They want to poke at you and your domestic violence cases at home. Go ahead and Dick, you're the metard up here right now. You're playing that role. So go ahead and read the comment.
Abusive metards.
Why do you think Dick's wife's never on camera? He keeps her in a cage like the animals.
Actually tied up at the barn with her head covered, but close enough. Along with the rest of my concubines, of course.
And again, that's only because Dick is a certain practicing Muslim. Okay, that's a tradition. Please don't judge him.
I followed in the footsteps of Andrew Tate when he changed religions. I went right there with him as part of the Hustler Club that we, do.
Right. And Paul, they say you're the cult leader, man.
Right, I know. I let my women free range. That's how magnanimous I am. I have such a great hold over their mind and heart that I let them free range.
Yeah.
I don't get quite the high off of them though. That the ones that filled with adrenochrome, right? You get a woman who's really filled with that fear.
End up in their mouth when you let them free range, Paul.
See, Dick's already. He knows. Dick is a very sick and twisted, morbid man. That's why Shelly's got that look on her face. She's got the look on her face of there might not be any hope for this humanity. I get it, Shelly. I get it. This is what I do.
Shelly, do you care to express in words what your face is showing us all?
No.
See why women do so well in court? See why men do so horribly? You just watch 2 hours of cycling rage and yelling and a whole bunch of false claims and threats, and she's got a look on her face like the world's coming to an end. When you ask her for testimony, she declines.
Yeah, the future of court's going to be memes. So it's going to be pictures like that. A picture tells 1,000 words.
Just emojis. Just have emojis. I really like whenever a woman comes up on this panel. I love watching O'Shea's face, man. It just says everything, dude. It's hilarious. That's it right there. What he's doing right there, man.
Come on now, Shelly. I've been a gentleman this whole time, haven't I?
Yeah.
You behave. I'm proud of you.
Now, how physically close are you to me?
Here we go.
Not.
God damn it.
And what she was kind of saying is she never wants to be in her own way. That's what I
Like, I
got
know
from
where
her.
you're at, but I don't care. We're not close.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump off here, but
All right. Brian O'Shea every time. All right, it's okay. We're used to this.
I'm glad I came up. Maybe next time I won't be so nervous. I just think what's happening is so important, and we're all here and we like see these faces and we have these bodies and stuff, but we can't even really see what is really in there. And honestly, like, I'm just scared. I'm scared for the future. And I guess I'm emotional, but I get this way a lot when I'm listening to you guys and I just go through it. So it's nice to be able to express it to you. I have a son, my daughter is older, and everything I do now is for them. And I just want them to be free, and I want to know how to get there.
Where's the man, Shelly, in this equation?
Well, he's at work right now.
Okay, but he's in the home. He's active with the children.
Yeah.
He stands for rights and freedoms.
Well, he wants he wants to. It's just yeah.
Paul's getting to it here.
Relax, Z, relax. So you're finding yourself having to take a leadership role in this relationship.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of been like that anyways, because we dealt with drug issues from, early on. And so I've had to make a stand there. So, but I just feel very strongly about what you're doing. And I don't know. It's just scary. I'm just scared.
But what I'm asking you, and I'm not, if you don't want to speak about it, I understand that. And you can always come and go freely. Don't feel like because you get up here, you got to stay up here. None of that nonsense. Come and go as you wish. You talk about whatever feels comfortable. This man that you have next to you, who's supposed to be raising these children, does he have any convictions in his mind and his heart? Does he have anything that he really stands for? Or is he just kind of adrift on the ocean of the corporate world and, wanting to become better, but not really seeing it or getting it?
I don't think he knows what to do.
Okay, but he gets it and understands the principles?
Yes.
Okay, so when we say what to do, there's always going to be a situation that presents itself where we have to stand firm on what we know to be true, our convictions. So isn't that always like what we're having to do?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when it comes down to what we have to do, it's like, again, we're back to, as far as I'm concerned, I can't tell you or him or anyone what to do. I'm not paying the slave tax. I'm not registering my property with a state corporation. I'm not going to follow policy and codes that cause me loss, injury, harm, or interference. I'm going to do whatever I please. And somebody tries to take my rights and interfere with my ability to do whatever I please is considered a wrongdoer, right? Because nobody has any authority over me. So that's, again, just living that way is going to get you enough interactions to have to resolve problems, because we're now in a world where they're telling you doing right is actually doing wrong to yourself and others. So we're at a whole different sort of juncture here as far as the world stage and the simulation, right? So we no longer can claim that these folks have our best interests in mind. So knowing that, we have to step into our power and rebuke this perspective, this perception, this way of living. It's destroying us and everyone around us. And then they're going to do whatever they're going to do to us, right? We can't have fear of what anyone's going to do to us for doing what's true and what's right. That's what faith is. So that's all I could see we can do here, right? And then just learn how to present that.
And if that doesn't work, you can always go to the Living Without Fear website. Jack Talcott sponsors that. He's got a site specifically devoted to living without fear. You might have heard him on here.
He's fucking with.
And you know, she expressed real emotion here, you know, and what you're experiencing, I think a lot of people are in these times, right? And you know, it's when you reach out and you're trying to find something real in this world, because when you realize that these authority figures and these structures that they've created, even the psychological system that they have, you're really not going to find answers there. Typically, there's more exploitation. So, you know, more and more people are just trying to resonate with anything truthful. It's like an oasis in the desert, just trying to find any truth anywhere. So I definitely, you know, I was impacted by your expression of emotion there. And I just like to say that, you know, I felt what you were expressing there. And, you know, I appreciate that vulnerability. And you know, there's people that feel you, and I'm sure plenty of people in the chat feel what you've expressed here today. So,
I feel what she expresses. The problem is she has to learn to alchemize it. You know, what good is acknowledging fear if we stay in a disempowered victim state, right? We all feel fear. All men and women tremble before violence. The Tao says that. How long ago? 3,000 years ago? So nobody's above this dynamic. We all feel it, I think, to some degree. The point is, what are you going to do with that energy? Can you convert that fear into faith and do the next right thing and inspire your husband and your children and others? Or are you going to just give it all away?
I mean, again, what can you do? Like, we just recently bought a house and I had to replace all the windows. And so it's just I just want to be out of debt. We want to get land and just be, you know, it's
did you buy a house or did you go into debt with a private bank to obtain a house?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Charity starts in the home. So if you don't want to be in debt, then don't go into debt.
I need to shelter my boy.
I understand. Shelly, listen to what I'm saying to you. There's different ways to do this, and you may have to do without certain things. But as far as I can see, I can't speak from direct experience. I don't have the family. Maybe someone else can. But again, I went from a tent to a trailer. Maybe my situation isn't typical. Maybe mine is atypical in the sense that most folks out there may have more ability to save over 6 months or a year and take that savings and go get something that's theirs, you know, a 30-foot trailer or whatever it is, 100, you know, whatever you can afford, maybe take on a minimal debt situation in order to acquire something that is doable within 3 to 5 years. And then 3 to 5 years, you're out of the game, right? And then you start reinvesting everything back into property and what you're going to put there, if it's possible, right? You make it work one way or the other. But to go into debt for the next 20 to 30, 40 years, to then be able to obtain a property when the markets are all uncertain, you know, I mean, again, you don't even ever retain ownership, from what I understand, of a lot of these properties till you file the proper paperwork. So you can even own a house, have it paid outright, and they're still going to tax the land it's on. So you don't own the house, because if you don't pay the taxes, they take the home, right? Mm-hmm. So we're back to, again, I'd rather, you know, I've shown this trailer here before. I think it's great coming from a tent. But again, that's why I'm thankful and grateful, because I've done without so much that when I do get something, I'm able to enjoy it and appreciate it. And I live within my means. I'm not spoiled and entitled like I once was, thinking that everybody needs a house with 3 empty rooms. You can only sit in one chair at a time. I mean, let's get back to basics. So to me, I'd rather live in a 30-foot trailer with 2 bunk beds, a bathroom, a fridge, a stove, a sink, a Denny's breakfast booth area, a little couch that folds down into a bed, the little TV area, and then the bedroom area with a full bed, right? I don't need anything more than that. You know, my father apparently says he needs more than that. He needs an up and down stairs house with 6 empty rooms at a time for some reason, right? Now, I can suppose what the reasons are, but he won't listen.
Oftentimes, the things you own actually own you, and that's the irony. That's the irony of possession. You know, it's tough.
Spells right in the word. Yeah, I mean, everybody's situation's different. You know, I'm thankful I have healthy children. You know, you could get a piece of land, live in an RV. You could live in a summer shack, 20 by 30 with 2 rooms, make that work. But, you know, I know people where their kid has Dravet syndrome and they got entirely greater challenges than what I deal with on a day-to-day. So everyone's situation is going to have its variables, and you got to look at what you can do, where you're at. It's all about action. You know, if you don't like the situation you're in, you're just going to have to put one foot in front of the other and take the initiative to change it. Fortunately, it looks like the real estate market's still strong enough. You might be able to sell and get out from that thing if that's what you so choose to do. But I find a lot of times it's people want your life, but they're not willing to sacrifice to get the life you have. So they say, oh, your minimalistic lifestyle, it's great. You have this freedom. You have all this time. But they're not willing to shit in the woods, have no running water, figure out, you know, how to get the well running, figure out how this fixer-upper, you're going to insulate it because it was just a summer cabin or whatever. And they're not willing to go through that 2 or 3 years of pain. But you know how that's going to bring your family together if they're willing participants. You know, if you have a partner that will actually do that with you, then that's an amazing bonding experience, and you'll grow all these family values. And instead of sitting there maybe in front of technology where you would have, you'll be sitting on the deck in nature playing chess, you know, having a beautiful summer's eve on a nice night in a surrounding that's in harmony with where you want to be. But you don't have the big house behind it. You don't have all the possessions. How much are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sell every fucking thing you have to make the transition? And are the people around you willing to be compelled or to consider that type of sacrifice to have that lifestyle that you aspire to? And I've often find the answer to that question is no.
I'm waiting for Camp Cupcake guy to come in and just start whomping on everybody for this emotional, on a very special Paul Enslaved. You know, the violins kick in.
No, I don't think that Mr. Snafu is averse to covering the depth of the human experience. He just wants to make it clear that it's not all, you know, hug a buddy, fuck a buddy, as he says. That at some point there's going to have to be a willful action space where we change our life and our lifestyle and our behavior and our community.
Well,
let me just call back for a second. Dick said he knew some woman that had a child that has Dravet syndrome. And that sounds very concerning to me. I would never want to meet a child that acted like Ricky Gervais, especially my own child. You can use that, O'Shea. See what I did there? Come on, we're lightening things up. Use that in your next session.
Hey, Dick.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, or kill.
Called out all the pedophiles. I like them.
Hey, Dick. Yeah. Fuck, marry, or kill me, Z, or Clint.
I guess
he's going to actually answer this.
Please kill me. Please kill me.
Dear Clint, let's see here.
Kill me.
I'm going to go Clint first, right? Isn't that how this works?
I don't know. No, you go any order you want. Just give the answer.
Yeah, Clint first, O'Shea second, and then Z last. I'll say the best for last.
No. He's saying one of them you have to fuck, one of them you have to kill, and one of them you have to marry. You have to choose.
Oh, that changes everything.
Right.
That changes everything. I could never marry Z. He talks back too much. Yeah, I'm gonna marry O'Shea. I'm gonna kill Clint. And what am I doing with you, Z? What was the other option?
You're fucking him.
Right down to
I guess you're fucking me. You know.
Well, isn't that?
I made the best choice I could with the options I had. Exactly, guys.
Perfect.
If I was in a homoerotic mood, I would choose you for the
all right, same question with the O'Shea. Shay, fuck, marry, or kill. Ready? Illumitami, Sans Memetic, Mr. Talcott. Go.
Sans Memetic.
Oh my God! Come on, man. You're just like, what the fuck? There's no.
You started it, big dog. Now it's your turn.
Let's see who I want to kill.
Gotta do it, O'Shea.
The other two just suck. Let's see. What was it? Sands, Talcott, and Tommy.
And Illuma Tommy.
I think I'm just gonna fucking kill Sands because he really pissed me off with his fake apology viperness. I'm just gonna go ahead and execute him. Then we got Talcott. Fucking gosh, I guess I gotta marry Talcott and put up with his fucking nonsense. Tommy would just be too much. What? Wait. Then I gotta fuck Tommy.
You gotta fuck one of them.
Jesus Christ, dude. This is weird, but
you got to go strategic on this one. If you marry Talcott, you never have to fuck him, and you'll always get your way because he's a pushover with that bullshit. And if you fuck Tommy, you could always wear a strap on because he's into that, and then you could avoid actually fucking him. You got to go stratagem on these, man. I'm telling you, outside the box.
I'll figure it out. That's the only way to go. There's no other route. You figured it out, like some maze and a puzzle. It was like a labyrinth.
See, I know how to think like a woman, right? And that's the thing. They'll say whatever about me, but I'm right in Shelly's head right now. She knows what she's doing. She didn't want any of you. You know, she'd prefer to kill all three of them. But she said, all right, let me think strategically. You know, how do I keep this house? Maybe look after the children. These corporate males are all irredeemable. So she gets the strap out on for Tommy. Gets some Cash App cat coin from him. And then marries Talcott. And then he sleeps on the couch. Shelly has Talcott sleeping on the couch where he belongs.
Hey.
She's shaking her head and looking down. She's disgusted.
All right, Shelly, I got to get you
the prospect of having to have sex with any of them or marry any of them. I know. I get it, Shelly. I got it.
Look, at this point, I think the 06 Taurus would be an upgrade for Talcott, okay? So,
all right, let me get Shelly one real quick. Shelly, fuck, marry, kill.
Well, first ask her if she wants to play, O'Shea. This is where you get restraining orders and legal issues.
Right.
You don't just walk up on a woman and throw something on her. You ask her, hey, want to play?
No,
Damn.
Consent. You need consent.
No, thank you.
No.
All right, now, okay, here's how the game changes. Z, if you want to play this, well, obviously Z wants to play. I don't have to ask. But anyways, now you have to give me the answer that you think Shelly would have given for, I was going to propose Thomas, Gimp, and Hard Hat. Now you give me the answer that if you could get into Shelly's head that she would have gave that I wanted from her.
Who's Gimp? Mars Life?
Yeah.
All right, so. All right, Mars Life, you got to go. She'd kill you, right? She'd fuck Thomas because I think he probably's got a pretty huge dick, honestly speaking. And Hard Hat seems
and again,
like
this is coming from her mind. This is none of your projection.
This is her mind, right? Of course, yeah. I'm not doing any homoerotic projection.
Right.
And of course, Hard Hat because he looks like he's gainfully employed, and I don't think these other two guys are anywhere near that. So he'd be the one she marries. That was an easy one, man. That was fucking easy.
Yeah.
Shelly, you look like a
What
nice
a fucking
person.
ridiculous
Shelly.
game.
Shelly, you look like a person who's got a big heart, and you know, it's nice to see you.
Thanks.
And you're fairly attractive, so you know you help brighten this panel up a little bit. We have to stare at the likes of Lou Bass and fucking Hard Hat all day, and it's nice to get a little sunshine up here.
Yeah, it's very what's the word, like a vortex. Like I'm drawn in. I'm always listening to you guys. But really, I am gonna go. I work nights, so but hopefully I'll be back up and I'll be listening. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Shelly. See you.
Take care of yourself.
Great job for your first time.
Yeah, she faced her fears right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
It's not easy. It's not easy getting up, especially this fucking panel.
Your magic is working, though, Paul. You hear that? The vortex? Getting sucked in.
I'm Machiavellian. I'm running a call.
We have Mars Life. We have Mars Life today. We don't have fucking B Rabbit, bro. I like that B Rabbit we had the other day. The shit was funny.
Yeah, he's always lurking.
Yeah.
Well, it's been hey gentlemen, been a good show today. I've actually got a fucking much needed day off. Couple comments, I guess, some personal stuff I'll save at the end. But yeah, with this meat thing and shit and Dick, and I don't know what happened with Lou Bass. I didn't watch the full thing. yesterday or whatever. But I've been consciously shying away from meat from even before COVID for quite a while. I used to be a huge meat eater when I was in the gym and competing, every day, fucking. And then over the years, and I think it's with my connection with the animals and that, I eat the fraction amount of the meat, but it really has come down to where's it coming from? What's their living conditions like? But I have the idea is thought of getting rid of meat, right, and just doing fish and eggs. But I need to research that shit. I don't want to, because I look at Jeff, and no offense, Jeff, man, I fucking love you, but you're fucking skin and bones, right? And you have no muscle mass. And when we get older, like I'm almost 50. When we get older, if you don't have you lose muscle mass when you get old like that. That's why you see old people fucking skin and bones. You need to build up that framework before you get old. So
big guy,
so anyway,
hard hat.
It's
hard
just,
hat, man.
It's just, I don't, I maybe he's strong and shit, right? Maybe he could fucking put out all day long. I don't know, but I need to research that because I really would kind of like to get off all the meat and check it out. But for my own intuition, eggs and cheese are good. Anyway, on a personal note, fucking the IRS in my country has contacted me for the first time in a very, very long time. So I know why and how, and that's cool. I'm looking at it as I've been down this legal rabbit hole the last 2 years.
Are you a Canadian citizen?
Yeah.
Well, then pay the slave tax. See how easy you fucked up? I got you on the first question.
Right, because you identified as a citizen, Holmes. Your status. See,
yes,
your words showed your status. Because as soon as you said it, I thought the same thing.
I haven't removed myself.
You have to create.
I know.
But you have to do it in your mind first. It has to happen in your mind first,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
your status must first come from your thoughts.
1,000%.
Go ahead.
No, actually, you're right. That is correct. There is the process in Canada here. I'm sure it's the same, right? But I've just been researching my end of it. Removing yourself from the voter registration, sending the Attorney General and everyone else notices, terms and service and shit. I've held off because they haven't contacted me forever. And so I've been researching and trying to gain knowledge. That's why I came here originally. It was kind of at the end of the research, but anyway, yeah. So now the creator has said, okay, it's time now. That's how I look at this. It's always a glass half full. It's like, okay, the process. Now let's do it. Don't got to get a PO box, start getting this shit, and start corresponding, and setting the record straight. So it's kind of it's time. That's how I look at it. It's not a bad thing. It's fucking. But boy, the lower vibrations when they send you that mail and shit. That's why I used to have piles and piles of fucking letters, eh? And it just fucking lowered my vibration. And when I kind of, they haven't contacted me in decades. And so, anyway, yeah. So I'm kind of starting a new journey right now. Yeah.
Well, Godspeed, sir. Godspeed.
I'm just looking into the etymology of Canada and what they call it legally. It's apparently just Canada. See, United States is a bit different because it's the United States of America. But I'm sure if I look in here somewhere, I'm going to find the conversion, the unlawful conversion from a land and a native peoples to some form of public body.
Right, so as the United States of America, which was originally supposed to be a constitutional republic, not a federation, all right? Not a federal government. It was a constitutional republic, all right? That's why they don't say it's the United States now. They changed the term, and they changed the definition of the entity. U.S. Corps.
So we have the demonym Canadian or Canadian with an E or an A once referred exclusively to indigenous groups who were native to the territory. Its use was extended over time to the French settlers of New France. New France. And later the English settlers of Upper Canada. Well, now we have to go deeper. What is New France?
Another corporation? I mean,
Yeah, Canada's a
only guess.
corporation, 1,000%.
That's usually what they do, right? If they create something, create some non-liable entity outside of self. You know, the question is, if you're not a citizen, then what are you? It goes back to this I am.
I appreciate, though, catching me on saying I'm a Canadian citizen, because I've been on top of that shit, and it is correct. I need to be 1,000% all the time, you know, standing who I am, right, and watching what I'm saying. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's such a rabbit hole, eh? I've really researched this, especially the Canadian angle, and there's some good guys and this and that, but for the most part, you got to be prepared to do jail time. And I've done jail time. That's my least fear, right? But you got to stand on fucking what you're saying and say, yeah, fucking lock my ass up, because you'll get out. You always get out. Grass always gets greener, right? And then hopefully you can get some remedy after that.
So now we have, much like Louisiana and the rest, these are purchased territories. So we have chain of title through France, through United Kingdom. These are all purchased territories. They got everybody in contract. You know, again, I don't know anything about it. You just look into it. You start to create the picture. They're paying folks to resettle there. So they're under some kind of a trust, some kind of agreement, and they have a belief, they have a claim to the land because they have chain of title. They've purchased it all, right?
But hey, look on the plus side, man. Those Canadian jails don't look too bad. They kind of look like a fucking vacation, man.
Yeah, there. At least where I was, there's some bad ones, but where I was, it was fine. You know what I mean? It was fine. It's it is what it is, and you get through it, and usually use that time to recuperate, recover, and make a new game plan, right? And fucking get going. You don't, or you can use your connections in there to start fucking being a dummy when you get out again, right? There's a lot of dummies in there, so.
Well, I've seen Trailer Park Boys. They look like they play a lot of street hockey. So,
yeah, I've cut out the TV a long time ago, but I did catch them, and I don't know what kind of programming was hidden in that shit, but yeah, they were fucking a lot of fun for sure. Total Canadian.
It's a good show.
I base all my understandings of foreign culture on television and movies. So, you know.
There's something so relatable about that show. I guess because in my childhood, we hung out in the trailer parks a lot because that's where you could get the drugs, and you know, that's where
they're making the show brilliant. Level guys are ultimately like trailer park like bums. That's what fucking slaves are. They're just like that's what they. Exactly. But I mean, you can make it fun and hilarious, but like, what the fuck? They're laughing at us and making fun of us.
It's sad at the same time. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of literally hilarious, and it was a good place. But I literally grew up in a trailer park. I grew up way up north, above the 60th parallel, and trailers were fairly common, and we used diesel heat. Then you insulate the bottoms for your piping. But yeah, I grew up in a trailer park. Eh? When I was a kid, my mom, everyone knew me because when she wanted me home, she would just go out the door and yell, "Hard!" Just fucking screaming in it like and embarrass me, right? You're a kid. Your mom's a weirdo. But anyway, I'm a weirdo too. So it's all
yeah,
good.
but look, they try to make trailers bad, right? Oh, you're in a trailer park. I used to have that discrimination. Look at me now. I'm going to be saving up to buy a trailer, right? But
hey, what do they call the Canadian code? I'm going to wrap up soon. But what do they call the Canadian code? Like U.S. code? What is it called? Just Canadian code?
I don't actually know.
There's no like federal regulation code or something?
Well, they try to put everything under what they call the Charter of Rights that they brought in here. But the thing is the charter only applies to if you're a government employee, you work for the government, you contract with them, you're doing business with them, right? And for Canada, the real key is the Bill of Rights. There's a section in there that keeps your fucking freedoms and your religious freedom and saying, fuck you, I'm not a part of this. And it's still valid and in effect, right? But they don't tell you that. So that's the angle you got to come on. But I'm not the expert, man. I got to start diving back into it. I kind of been watching you for a while, so I got to start getting the brain going again.
Yeah, so it's the same nonsense, just a cursory thing here. Canadian code, it's governmental body and parliament, so they're just getting everybody opted into a parliamentary democratic process. The fundamental basis for federalism, because they call it the federal code in Canada, was and remains the need to reconcile, balance, and accommodate diversity. So they're going to use the idea of diversity of culture in order to create an inclusive, safe space where everybody's governed by policy and code. Great. If we were completely fascist and not a common law land, right? So I'm sure if I go deep into the original public law of Canada, it's going to elucidate and illuminate the fact that we don't have to do anything they tell us to do. It's all advisory because you say the precept is to create order. How is kidnapping, killing people, taking rights and property, create more order? So it's all nonsense. Public safety, under the guise of public safety. Oh, isn't that special?
That lady, nice lady that was on here, and people were right. We're all in a different situation, but I made the decision to build up my camper truck and live in it for a couple of years to buy a small piece of land in the same place area, well, south of where I'm at, but right to homestead. And I'm late at the game, and I've learned a lot since this bullshit happened, and that's why I'm at where I'm at, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice, and it's easy. And I feel so good and calm and safe. And so, yeah, I'm doing it. But if you got kids and shit, like I've never had kids, right? So if you got more, it might be more, but getting a debt mortgage from the fucking, the banks, like that's, I don't know. And someone said, and it's correct, how much do you want of the bling bling in life? Can you fucking settle down and live in basics, right? I grew up north of 60 in a cabin, right? And I'm cool with that. I didn't get a internet phone till 8 years ago, right? So it's kind of, life is good. It's just what you put into your life, kind of, and what you let into your life. I don't know. I'm fucking done with this bullshit. I want to move back up north. I'm done with this shit. This is a fucking shit show, clown world circus. It's fucking.
People want their enslavement in their cupcake too. I mean, they have their glyphosate Roundup Ready lawns. They got their nice picket fences, all mortgaged to the bank, so they can pay for 30 years, like Paul was saying. And they want to have more time with their kids and their family, but they're not willing to give up the illusion of success, that presentation of actually having a together life and whatever that fucking means.
Yeah,
they would rather win that approval of their neighbor than actually have the time that they say they want with their families. So if they have a choice between
other people's opinions are more important than their freedom. Does that sound familiar? Because they may have a BMW and a house and all the bullshit. I got a beautiful trailer, and I could pretty much do whatever I want to do just based off speaking and living truth and what the blessings that people pay forward to me. So if I could travel and buy whatever I want, and I choose to pretty much continue to go nowhere and do nothing, because why would I? I mean, at some point I may get inspired again to travel, but everywhere I go, I'm reminded that I'm in a matrix of slavery. Maybe that's my morbid negativity. You want me to go and look at some piece of land and pay to walk on it with fucking trash everywhere and slaves with hiding their faces, ashamed of who and what they are while they're yapping out of one side of their mouth to me? For what? What am I missing out on that everybody else is getting so much fucking enjoyment and inspiration on? I'd rather be in a trailer in the middle of nowhere amongst nature, doing little to nothing, and then doing this broadcast. And then if I can, like, every once in a while, buy an investment for the future, you know, a piece of property, whatever that looks like, you know, property to defend my property to live on, property to put on my finger to pimp and mac on these hoes, because I'm going to put a 24-karat ring on. I don't want to hear nothing from you folks, because I know you're going to try to keep me in this crabs in a bucket mentality. I'm not walking around town like I'm John Gotti. I'm doing it as an investment. I'm going to take 1,000 or 2,000 fiat currency notes, because to me, I'd rather have a bunch of physical shit around than fiat sitting somewhere waiting for them to tell me they ain't going to give it to me. So
dude, the shit goes down. It's all right on your finger, dude. That's the point of jewelry that people don't understand. Because if the shit went down, you would have your wealth on you. You're gone. It's like fucking what's his name? De Niro says in Heat. You got to be able to be gone in fucking 30 seconds flat. You know, people think jewelry's all about bling.
That's why the Italians did that. A lot like the quote unquote black folks, right? If your value's on your hand and around your neck, you're gone with it. You don't have shit tied up. So they may have to get on a boat and cross to another continent with, you know, a third of their life savings. And they know on some level they're going to pimp and mac on haters, and they're going to get folks talking about them. So how do you learn about John's Pizzeria? Well, it starts with them going, who the fuck's that guy? The guy with all the gold around his hands and neck. Oh, that's John. He owns a pizzeria. Oh, let's go over there and see what he's about. And he makes good pizza, right? It's pimping and macking 101. Is it not?
Look, Paul, it's like you got these Talcott guys that want to talk about dissolving your ego and being egoless. That is a false Luciferian teaching, everyone. Your ego is not something to be vilified. Your ego is something to be mastered. See, that's the difference that these Talcotts don't understand.
Hey, Paul, quick question.
Great conversation, folks. I'm going to get up on out of here. I had fun on the panel today. Yeah.
Dick's running. Go run, Dick.
Yep.
I got a runner.
We'll catch you soon.
Yo, peace, brother.
Right,
love you, bro. Love you, man.
You drained the dick.
I love him in a non-Talcott-like way.
That's the thing. This panel's a bunch of dick drainers. He comes on up full of energy. Next thing you know, he's dejected and he's got to get out of here. See? Every time. Go ahead, Clint.
Hey, I heard Z bring up something yesterday or day before yesterday that I hadn't thought of. I've been wanting to contribute, but I don't have an electronic way to do it. But he brought up sending people gold and silver. And I'd like to send you and your buddy. Is he still in jail?
No, he just got out yesterday. I was going to bring that up, awesome. But now that you mentioned it, he actually just got out yesterday.
Awesome. I'd like to send you and him a little bit of silver. Is there some place I can send that to you?
Yeah, somewhere completely unrelated to where I'll be. So don't get any ideas, pal. It's going to be sent to a
like
friend.
a PO box. Or, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So just email you and you'll have something where I can send it.
Far away from where I live.
I don't care, wherever, as long as you get it.
Yeah, Clint, I guess, just send me an email and I'll graciously accept your contributions. You can lay them at my feet, the gold and silver, like
just a little.
Look at Mitchell. I'm trying to get him activated. You can lay it at my feet like the what was that? The scene in the manger, like when the Christed being was presented and the Magi came and laid myrrh and frankincense and gold and silver.
I think it's awesome. I'd like to send you some silver too.
Wow, man! The kid saying he would never contribute. Now going back on that, no,
yo,
sir.
Paul, I started something.
I won't give you any fiat.
Paul, I want 15%. Paul, I want 15% of all the tributes, man. This was my idea. Now
I got a business partner all of a sudden.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll give you.
You might get me activated now. Come on.
Paul, what about making a PO box?
Thanks.
Thank you, Clint.
Like Owen Benjamin does.
What's this now about Owen Benjamin?
No, what about you having a post office box public?
No, I don't want slaves emailing me or mailing me feces, explosive devices. Who knows what these rabid slaves are up to when they get on the wrong side of me?
Right.
Something in their
You
heart.
know?
Yeah.
They'll send,
Go ahead.
they'll send you a nice, beautiful pressure cooker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's your beautiful pressure cooker. Trust me, we didn't open it or put any fucking screws, nails, or other types of fucking metal shard in it whatsoever. Don't worry about it, Paul.
I'm so stupid. Yeah, just send me some shit. Yeah, but I don't have a platform, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway.
Brian O'Shea, you're so desperate that you would go purchase a P.O. box just to have slaves send you some Acme bomb. That you ever see one of those round bombs, the Acme bomb? And then you open up the P.O. box, there's a round bomb with a fuse on it lit.
like Wile E. Coyote?
Every other day I come to the scene with like a blackface hair blown back.
Yeah, his hair gets blown back and he gets gunpowder all over his face. And then he learns why you don't do that.
Right.
That's all, folks. What the fuck, dude? Mars life, dude. Put the glasses on, man. He doesn't talk unless he's got his little character going, dude. What's the name of his character? Is it Mars Life?
The Gib has emotional waves.
Yeah.
He needs to let it out, dude. I love that
he's very docile, and then at night the moon lights up. And he starts to. You ever see like the werewolf in Paris? It's the Gimp in Michigan. I don't know where he's from. The moon starts flashing, and he starts turning some wolf beast. And next thing you know, he's inseminated 3 women, killed a few people, and he wakes up like confused, brushing off some liquid.
But he feels great afterwards. He feels liberated. Oh, here we go. Look out. Zetetic Warrior's gonna get womped on again.
I told you. I see. Me and the Gimp, we ran our cycle, and now he's off my back. But he's latched onto you. So you got a good 6 to 8 months of proving yourself. It's going to be a long road.
He's going to have to take a number if he wants a piece of me, because there's a long line. Trust me, bro.
Hey, listen, he's ferocious. Okay, he's got a will on him. So don't underestimate him. I learned this the hard way. I went through this process. I think you're going to escape it. There's no escape from the Gimp once you're in his clutches. He will not release you. He is like a pit bull. He's unrelenting.
And he brings like fleas with him. He came on my show. Next thing you know, there's my chat that fucking sent me fucking.
Next thing you know, you're getting bit from all angles. It's one of the Gimp's fleas. He's on my leg, and then the fleas start taking over.
Hilarious, man. It's not true. I don't have any network
about you and him. I don't know what's going on with other
You look like a good guy, Gimp, man. You look like a good guy, man. He's got that look, man. You can just tell, man. He's a wide open soul, dude. Some people got it. Some people don't. No, I could tell, man.
I don't know if I would say I'm a good guy, but I'm not.
Look,
I'm not sure.
It's time for us softies. It's time for all of us bleeding heart, the ones that everybody wants to call the fucking deplorables, the racists. They want to call us all kinds of names. We're actually the bleeding hearts. We're not these psychopathic fucking liberal fucking monsters that are professing with their fucking fake virtue signaling fucking snowflake culture. They're the real psychopaths that are out for control and domination, but they put it on us because that's what psychopaths do. They have to project. Well, guess what, guys? We're the real bleeding hearts. And if you want to call yourself liberals, the actual word liberal, okay, was nothing like you fucking claim it to be, okay? Because a classical liberal believed in rights and freedoms and property, okay? So maybe we're going to take the word liberal back, and we're going to take the fucking term bleeding heart back, and we're going to get together, and we're going to build alliances based off self-interest, and we're going to fucking show you what's really up.
Without causing bloodshed.
We don't have to, because all we have to do is defend ourselves.
Right.
And once they do, it's self-defense. And if they take us down, then we just show the world that they are exactly what they say they are. Because like I said, you guys want to come after me? Because I've committed no loss, injury, or harm to anybody. So if you fucking take me out, you just proved my point. You prove to the whole world that you are exactly what I fucking say you are. So I want you to fucking come after me. I'm daring you fucks.
No, you don't want them. You know, why would you invite it?
Maybe you don't, Mars. Maybe you don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I feel like I'm a man living on borrowed time. Maybe I'm a man that fucking is kind of having fun with the whole process. Maybe I'm a man who realizes that there's fates worse than death. Maybe I'm a man who's been through so much pain in my life that I'd rather have the fun that I'm having now fucking dancing on the grave of this fucking bullshit society.
Come on.
You know, you look younger than me. You look like you have your whole life ahead of you, you know? I'd rather go out like this, you know?
I just think that's not, I don't think that's maintaining your honor. I don't think that's the honorable thing to do.
Mars, you're afraid to get whomped, water boy?
I mean, sure, maybe there's a little bit of fear there about that. I'd rather not. But it could happen.
The Warrior speaks for himself. He speaks for no other man on this panel or otherwise. He speaks for himself.
Yeah.
Yes, they talk about myself in the third person. Like it or not, fuck off.
They'd whomp you up, Gimp, huh? Just take you to Womp Town.
It could happen. I mean, hopefully not. I'll be prepared to try and defend myself, but
you'll be prepared to do nothing.
Here's
I'm not gonna go down without
here's the righteous vegan himself. He's back. He's back. So, guys, do you know vegan is a person who eats no animal products is actually a total vegetarian? All right. To be vegan is actually more of a lifestyle choice. It involves more than just your diet. I'm sure Jeffrey knows that, but if we are to be specific with our terms, if you're just speaking about your diet, the term would be a total vegetarian. A vegan implies that plus a culture, a mindset, and otherwise. Am I correct in that, Jeffrey?
Yeah, most real true vegans don't wear leather or wool or, byproducts that are tested on animals, stuff like that. It's not just simply a diet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeff, I asked you a question because you're the guy that's going to know. What would I be? I don't like the terms, putting labels, even like what, Buddy, you're talking about, redefining liberal. It's kind of like you put a definition or a name on something and then people define it, like call us sovereign citizens and shit. But anyway, my question, is I'd like to give up meat but still eat eggs and fish. I don't give a fuck about right now thinking about wearing the leather and this and that. But that's a good point, though, too, now that I think about it. What is that called? Just eating vegetables and fish and eggs?
Vegetarian.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's not. It's a pescatarian.
I was pescatarian for years, where I just ate fish and eggs, basically, or an eggetarian.
How could you be a vegetarian if you're eating animals? That's a pescatarian, man.
What's that? Well, the term vegan had to be invented because of vegetarians.
Jeffrey, Paul just asked you something, and you fucking are going on to something else.
Hold on, big guy. I just want to say this because it's called an ovo-lacto-vegetarian, okay?
Yeah.
What you're talking about is called an ovo-lacto-vegetarian is the proper term.
Correct.
Ovo's eggs, lactose dairy. I'm sorry, an ovo-pesco-vegetarian. Ovo-pesco-vegetarian because you said fish.
You guys are fucking retarded with these terms. Go fuck yourselves. It sounds so fucking stupid.
This guy.
Oh, now you're going to have Hard Hat walking around getting a filet of fish sandwich at McDonald's. I'm an ovo-pescatarian.
I'm an ovo-pescatarian. Well, Hard Hat, honestly, you probably have high blood pressure and you're probably on the verge of what's called metabolic syndrome, okay? You're probably a couple years away from pre-diabetes, all right? And what you're expressing is probably going to be healthy for you. So salute, sir. Salute.
Well, yeah, I do have the blood pressure thing, but my heart's real. I have an enlarged heart. It's like massive. So I'm still lucky to kind of be kicking, and that's why I enjoy every day. Because guys like me with this thing, you don't live super long time. But whatever, you do the best is what you got and keep going, and you never know. So
my buddy Tracy, rest in peace. called me a couple years ago and was basically like telling me that he had just had a couple heart attacks. He's a cook. He's like 40 years old, a chef. And I was just like, man, you gotta change your diet. And he was like, I know, man. And like 2 months later, he was dead. It's pretty serious. Once things get that bad, it's like, it's really fucking serious. And I would just, if I was you, just try and eat vegetarian on the weekends to start, and work up, maybe even eating vegan on the weekends, just to get rid of, the shit that caused you to have the problem you have. I'm not even like trying to push veganism on people. I just want people to eat healthy and sustainable. But yeah, man, a lot of people are pesco-ovotarians, and
Jeffrey, I gotta cut you off. Even though you're super skinny, but you are a long distance.
I'm a road.
Yeah, you train with.
I'm a road cyclist.
She just does it more harder. She's more dedicated. She does it more than you or something, right? Are you guys equally trained?
Yeah, no, she trains as a cyclist. He follows her around.
Right.
Allie rides more than me. Yes, she's far more like riding is her thing. It's not my thing. But when we're riding, I still riding 150 miles a week at least, and doing loads of elevation. Like
because Hard didn't know how strong you are. He just thought you were a skinny weakling. He didn't know you actually rode a bike around.
No, like road cyclists want to look like tweakers. Like we want to be as light as possible, light and strong as possible to endure a long time. And having a bunch of like bulky muscles, that's why people are like, "Oh, you're not strong, you're not muscly enough." And it's like, dude, my lower body, I could fucking snap you in half.
It's just the type of muscles you have: fast twitch or slow twitch. And the fast twitch, slow twitch, they're a size difference in a sense. So bikers and shit, they're working on the
half. It's his lower half. He can snap you in half with his pelvis.
Yeah, he'll scissor you to death. There, Hard Hat.
I'll take you out. Hard Hat, were you born with the enlarged heart, or is it something developed over time?
Well, it's a question mark. There's what I believe and what the medical community would suggest. What I believe is I had extreme sleep apnea my whole life. I was snoring like a beast as a kid. Every woman I've been with has commented about my stopping breathing and that. And then I haven't drank in over 15 years, but I was a heavy drinker way back, and that's depressant. I was doing a bunch of drugs too. So I think my heart took a beating and an enlarged. But I've also done anabolic steroids throughout my life. I competed.
I was going to ask you that. You just took my next question, because the enlarged heart is one of the most common adverse effects from anabolics, bro.
Left ventricle.
Plus, I noticed you have no hair too, and your hair loss, I'm sure, is part of it. But thank you for being honest, everybody out there. A lot of people would have lied about that. Good for you, man.
Well, hair loss.
How's your kidneys, dude? How's your kidneys?
Well, I don't drink, so my kidneys are wonderful.
How are your testicles? I know one of the other side effects is shrunken testicles.
Well, they're probably the size of a squirrel's, maybe a chipmunk. Yeah.
Even still, they didn't come back?
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's a problem.
Well, no, there's actually there's a drug you can take. It's called HCG. You can get it prescribed, and it makes your balls grow big again.
Clomid.
For me, yeah. Well, Clomid helps too. Clomid's a great one. But that's cosmetic. You know what I mean? It's like getting breast implants. I don't care. I have small balls. I still have a great load. I can make a bunch of jizz on my own. Right.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that information.
Thank you.
As we're looking at, as I'm staring at your face as you're saying that, man, I'm never gonna get that fucking image out of my head. Oh shit,
it's a little much.
Why don't you get Annie, get Allie or Annie back up here? Shelly, get somebody back up here. I'll stare at O'Shea instead.
Beep, beep,
dude, what made you go on the Anabol, dude?
Well,
what made you make that decision, bro? What in your life did you feel as though you were lacking in some way? What were you missing in your life?
Hey, you know what, man? You're gonna be wrong on this one. it wasn't anything lacking. I moved out on my own when I was 15, and part of my outlet I had was working out at 15. So I went to high school. I worked after high school, and I worked out. And the men in the gym kind of took me under their wing because they're like, "Look at this guy." Well, I got to about 18 years old, grade 12, and I was natural. And then, but you see the guys, and you see the guys that have worked out for 3 months. They do a cycle, and they surpass what you just did in 4 years. And so, as a kid, and whatever, I was 18. I did a cycle, and the amount of disappointment in all those guys' eyes, eh? But so that's where it started. It led up to me competing amateur in the bodybuilding, and then literally I quit drinking when I was 33. And I found out my body doesn't produce it. I damaged my pituitary gland, so I produce like an 80-year-old man. So so I could get it prescribed, but I just do it myself. And I keep it at therapeutic dosages, I guess.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Next time
Yeah, right
around,
on.
maybe something different.
Well, it's so funny you say that, dude, because I have some experience in it.
Still relevant.
I didn't want to push him, Jeffrey. I thought the same thing. I didn't want to push him.
We'll
let him go. We'll let him go. We'll let him go.
There's no pushing. I'm all truth, bro. I got nothing to hide.
It's fine. It's fine, dude. I thought the same thing, Jeffrey. You and me are thinking the same thought. Dude, you're muted on Slaved One.
I was muted. I'm sorry. I was going to say, Jeffrey, you better be careful. Hard Hat's going to mount you.
I don't know, man. Hard Hat, if you were my cellmate, man, I think I'd probably do it. I'd probably fucking let you have the bottom bunk. Definitely, dude. I'd give you the pudding, dude. It'd be fine. Whatever you want, dude. You know what I mean?
I'm
a nice daddy. He's a good.
I'm
daddy.
actually a good guy, and I'm kind of like Paul, where if you ever have to actually hurt someone or whatever, it doesn't feel good inside, and it never did, and I don't want to, right? And I avoid it. I'll walk away, right? Unless you fucking threaten me or I'm in danger. Bam, I'll act. But no, right. I walk away. I feel awful. I feel awful to hurt anyone, you know. So.
Yeah, dude. I tell every young man that I encounter, like, you know, either if I work with them or whatever, and I know they're into lifting, I fucking hammer it in their head, dude. Don't get on the fucking test. Don't get on the test. Leave the gear alone. I tell them, you're going to watch all these guys, and they're going to gear up, and you're going to watch them become fucking Adonises, and you're going to watch all these chicks fall at their feet. But there's a cost, and it's going to catch up with you real fucking quick. So are you willing to pay that price? And see, to an 18-year-old, probably much like your mindset, I don't want to project on you, you don't have that idea of your own mortality, right? You fucking just think you're going to live forever because it just seems so far off. But it catches up with you, man. So I'm that guy in their ear. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it, man. But you'd be surprised how many of them don't listen to me. You know? You'd be surprised. They just do it anyway.
Well, I think it's I was susceptible to the programming, right? It's society that was thrown out as reading the muscle mags and all these fucking dummies that, you know, that are unnatural, but they say they are back then. And so I guess I was.
They still lie, Hard Hat. All these guys on YouTube are fucking lying. All these fake natties, bro. These fake natties are fucking liars, man. It's easy to tell. Just look at their BMI. You can look at certain features. You can look at the BMI. You can look at the andro muscles. There's certain andro muscles that are accentuated, right? Skinny legs. You got them peaked out shoulders and them traps. That's andro, boy. Straight up.
It's my traps I got before because I was wheelbarrowing concrete as a kid before that, eh? And that's kind of built up, and then you just build your framework. But you know that Panini fucker or whatever that fucking guy is? I knew right away, and that's why I called on it. He had bitch tits. He had big bitch tits, right? So he's cycled before, right? And he's trying to get back in shape. And that's why I was like, lift your shirt,
guy with big arms.
Yeah. And he's saying he's natural. Fuck off.
Dude, it's gyno, bro. It's just straight gyno. It's real easy to fucking see, man.
Yeah.
fucking start lactating and stuff.
But
Yo,
I don't know. I wouldn't change anything. Honestly, it's whether we get another go around, right? And this is all just learning and growing. Hopefully, I don't know, but I wouldn't change it. I live better now. You know what I mean? I haven't cycled or none of that shit for fucking 20 years. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, it is what it is. You regret shit. Yeah. But it's a learning experience. I don't live the victim. I take all responsibility for my actions, even though I was programmed at one time and whatever else. It's like, fuck that. I make all my own decisions. No one forces me to do anything, right? All these sheep everywhere. It's been an eye opener this last 3 years.
Bro, you ain't
folks
kidding,
are down here
man.
now telling me, oh, I need crypto links for people to donate. This is the next layer of it. Then you'll have Mitchell on my ass for the next 6 to 8 months when I got 46 pages of fucking links on how to donate. Well, you say crypto links. Well, there's fucking 150 of them, right?
There's 100,000 of them.
Yeah, so like you're gonna what? Send me Bitcoin, Ethereum, regular shit, or like fucking whatever Tommy's trading in that blood coin. That
Cat
shit
coin?
that's like direct slavery, digital slavery.
Fuck XRP.
I don't know. Honestly, Paul, you should just accept either worthless fiat or fucking gold or silver. I'm kind of I actually amassed a good amount of silver and then ended up trying to get my camper together before the fall, kind of selling it. And I loved holding it. And once I get above water again, I'm gonna buy more silver, man. So fucking, but fuck those cryptos. That's all the fucking the club's money and bullshit.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna like
So,
if
Paul,
this like 2 people down there go, oh, I donate through crypto. Okay, so you don't say nothing. Like you don't say, hey, to give me a place to send Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then I'm just
Right.
gonna sell that shit anyway. I might keep it because we're at a down cycle right now. Why not? If you send me
So,
X amount, I might just leave it in there because it's gonna 4 or 5x over the next year or two anyway. Right?
look,
What is
not financial advice,
true.
but
No, that's true.
not financial advice, but for investment, collectibles. Okay, not financial advice. Old guitars, old collectible shit that people want. That stuff that can be considered antique. Man, if you want my not financial advice, collectibles. All right, you heard it here first from Z at the Paul and Slave channel.
You know, what's interesting is my best buddy is a safety. I guess you call him a safety officer. He basically will be the top safety guy at like a fucking oil stand site, at an oil field site. He got out of it when the bullshit went down because he couldn't. He saw that it was bullshit, and so he couldn't enforce bullshit. So he's like, I'm out of here. And so now he just does some online shit. Jump to the jump is he does antiques. He's been doing antiques for years, right? And old shit. And he's making about $3,000 a month. Fucking now he's on a homestead making $3,000 a month, buying fucking old shit and selling it, man. Fucking
Yeah.